Everybody, welcome to the ICCG YouTube channel. This is part of our process series, we're calling it, because it's we're kind of walking you down the process of what it's like to sell your business and what are those different steps. Got Andrew McQuilkin here with me today, and you'll get to know Andrew if you ever use us for anything, because most likely you'll be talking to Andrew first. We're going to talk about marketing and negotiating today. So I'm going to kind of kick it off, and let's just say that we have a seller that has agreed for us to work with them. Kind of what comes next for them, Andrew?
Yeah. So last video we talked about kind of what the process is to prepare to take to market, right? And so we kind of ended off with talking about the buyer list, right? And so here we the buyer list is just a pool of buyers, and it can be extensive, it could be short, whatever that looks like.
We have a way of taking a database and kind of narrowing it down to what we're looking for.
Exactly, and what. We keep track of different people's criteria, and if it fits it, then they'll go on the buyer list. And so on the buyer list, they may be financial. We do have a video that we did towards the beginning of this of that
different types of buyers.
Exactly, different types of buyers. And so they'll be financial, strategic, individual, and we'll walk through that with you. But then we start sending the teaser. Right, which we also kind of talked about it last time, where the teaser doesn't give the name of the company, but it just is a 30,000 view. Just kind of piques their interest a little bit. Might just give a
region geographically. We don't do anything to make sure.
Exactly. We want to protect them because none of these buyers yet are under an NDA, a non-disclosure, right? And so once they are under an NDA, that helps us. That protects our client, and we'll send them the SIM, or the confidential information memorandum, right? It's just the package overview of what the company is, gives the story, the history of the company, gives them just enough details to understand the revenue model and all that, and then we'll send them the if they're still interested, we'll send them the financial spreadsheet.
So let's say that they get to that point and they go, wow, we still want to continue. What's next for them?
Yeah, those are Q&A discussions, right? And so we have a couple different calls that we'll, Zooms or calls, right, that we'll typically have. And the first one is a Q&A with myself, right? And just kind of saying, okay, they're going to ask questions about the business. Hey, I don't know about this on the financial. What do you think about this? Or on this on the SIM, it says this. They'll ask questions, and I'll answer. Now, I will say that if we do our job well on the SIM, the fewer questions that they'll ask,
short call.
right? And so hope that's the goal. Yeah. But the other part of that call is that I'll ask questions. Right. And I want to get to know them so that I can tell my buyer who they are. Right. And the second one is you'll jump in and we'll do another Q&A, a Q&A call with you as well. And so that just kind of gives us a little bit more into the weeds of discussions and asking questions. They may have further questions after I've talked with them.
And so the people who are watching this are most likely people who are contemplating selling their business. What you need to know as sellers at this point, yes, we're telling them about the business, but really what we're also doing is digging deep into who they are. We want to know who these potential buyers are, because what comes next is we start talking to them. We start trying to get them to, if you're interested, you need to submit an indication of interest letter, which is an IOI, we call it. And if we can get several of those, sometimes we have a deadline date, kind of depending on the fervor of the market, right? And sometimes and we get them to give us an IOI by a certain date. And then that's when the seller really starts getting involved, because we'll start walking through those with you, and we'll say, hey, which ones you want to pursue, and then we'll invite some for a management meeting. And the management meetings are kind of fun because you guys talked about those some. But that's when we get on the call and they basically get an hour to ask the seller any question they want, and then we get to tell them that they can't ask half of those questions.
There you go.
Because we're protecting you and your company. So
exactly, we're the referee in that.
And
position.
then we start the negotiation, and what we really try to do is by the time we get someone to give an LOI or letter of intent, we know that hopefully one of maybe 2 or 3 letters of intent will come in, will be the seller that will be the buyer that we'll all agree on to pursue. And when we do several things during that, we don't want to talk about all of our tactics, but one thing we do want to do is from the very beginning is give enough information to where they're not going to want to come back down the road and retrade. In fact, we just won't work with buyers who have a history of retrade. And we have ways of finding that out. And so we just won't work with them. And we just don't like that approach to it, where they want to come down and renegotiate the price later on, especially right at the finish line.
Absolutely.
And the negotiations takes place, really, you're negotiating things all the way through the legal documents and everything else, because there's all these little nuances.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the fun part. I like that part.
Yeah.
You like the marketing and stuff.
I like answering questions and asking questions.
Yeah, I prefer just negotiate it, just get it closed. So anyways, hey, everybody, thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Hey, thanks for joining Grant, Dave, and the rest of our team today. My name is Andrew, and I'm with the business development side of ICCG. If you have any questions or want to talk to somebody on our team, please visit our website, follow the directions there. I'll most likely be the one to respond, so look forward to hearing from you. Before you go, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time.